Alright guys, that's that. We finally found the issue with this car. Hopefully that's one of the last issues. Clearly it was the water pump that was causing the overheating. So now it's time to just get a new water pump, put it all on in the next video, because I think we've run out of time on this one. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.
But little did we know, there would be so many issues to come.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. As you saw in the last video, we found out that the problem with this car was not the thermostat, it wasn't a blocked rad, but it was a water pump. So we took it off, obviously, found out that it's broken, and in this video, we're gonna be pretty much rebuilding everything that we've taken off. We've also found out something interesting about the engine mounts that we're gonna show you. So we might have to do a bit of work with those, and also fix the whole AC system, because that is also broken. So a few things wrong with this, but we're gonna get it all built back up in this video.
So, if you haven't watched our videos before and have no idea what's going on, basically, while driving one night, the car started overheating. Now, our first solution to this problem was the thermostat. This is because it controls the amount of coolant getting around the engine to cool it. So we then put the thermostat on and did a gas test to ensure that it wasn't the head gasket, as the head gasket is a huge job and we really did not want to do it. We then took it for a drive and it still overheated.
Went for a little drive around the block, shoots up to 95, then shoots straight from 95 to 100, straight from 100 to 105, and then it just got hotter and hotter as I was pulling back into the warehouse. Hit 120, I believe.
So we decided to check the radiator, as these can get blocked over time, and as it turns out, ours was very blocked up. Following this, we also decided to check the water pump, as all the radiators were out and it would be silly not to. This would turn out to be the best thing we ever did, as it was indeed the water pump that caused this. This is because the impeller of the pump was completely torn apart. So follow us in this video as we replace the water pump along with some other things, as you'll see, because the problems with this car never end.
Alright, so while we were trying to fix the AC the other day, there's something that we noticed that is not right on this car at all. I don't know if I can really get a good angle, but up there, you see that's the sway bar right there. And if you can't notice there, the engine is literally like millimeters off of it, which is obvious. That's not how it's supposed to sit, because that can easily crack. Because obviously the engine doesn't sit still when you're driving, it's always moving a little bit. So obviously that means the engine mounts are bad. If you take a look at the engine mount right there, you can see a bunch of oil coming off, which means it's gone basically, because these things are oil based. And also, if you press it in like that, it's like squidgy at the bottom, which means they're gone. And the other one doesn't have the oil, but it's squidgy at the bottom, so it's also gone. So the engine is sitting low, which might explain why the rocker covers were so hard to get off, because the engine's sitting way lower than it should be. So we're gonna do the engine mounts. We got them from FCP along with a bunch of other stuff. So time to fix this car. Also noticed that the tie rod, I don't know if you can see. Also noticed that the tie rod, like the boot for it is all damaged as well. So I don't know when that happened or how long that's been like that for. But that's another thing to change, that's for sure. So to get to these engine mounts, so we got to take off this pan right here, obviously, because we got to get the steering rack off to actually be able to get the mounts out, because you can undo them, but obviously there's literally no room to pull it out once you undo it. So we have to take off the steering rack. We're just allowing that, we're not taking it off fully, we're just allowing the steering rack to drop so you have enough room to take out those mounts up there. We got to get that black plate off, obviously, because we got to allow this pinch bolt right here to come off so that we can actually drop the steering rack, because right now it's being held up by that, so we're gonna do that now. So we've just dropped that black plate there, and now as you can see the whole steering rack is just hanging down, which is what we wanted, because now we have a lot more room. We can actually get out those engine mounts right up there. You can probably see a bit clearer now, but now you can see really that's the anti-roll bar. And that is the engine. That is ridiculously close. Look at that. So that's why we're doing what we're doing right now, because that's not safe at all. Alright, so now it's time to lift the engine up in the air, obviously, because we're taking the mounts off. If you don't jack it up, it's just going to fall. Well, not really fall, but it'll drop and possibly fall out. But, yeah, so we're just going to use this engine lift here, and we're going to hold it up so that we don't have the engine fall out, because that'd be pretty bad. So yeah. So alright, we got the engine actually lifted now, that's holding it up. So it's time to roll around on the floor and see if we can get these mounts off, because we failed with the tool because they gave us the wrong size. So now we got to actually take it off straight from like the engine. You got to take the whole actual bracket off. Alright guys, so it was a big struggle, but somehow we managed to get one of the mounts off, because obviously the wrong size tool, so it was really hard. It's not good, so we're going to replace it obviously with the new one. We also got the AC control valve right down here, so we're going to get that inspected by someone to see if that's the issue with the AC or if it's the actual compressor. Hopefully it's just this, because that's an easy fix, but we've taken that out too. Because obviously if you remember before, we couldn't get to it because it was hitting the subframe because the engine was so low, so you literally couldn't take it out. Now that we've lifted the engine up, you can get it out easy, so that explains that issue.
Okay, so now that we've got the engine mounts out, these ones are actually oil based. And if you look here, the oil leaks out, which is not supposed to, but I guess that's a common failure of these engine mounts. You can also see that there's a difference in coloration, obviously, because the car has quite a lot of Ks on it. And also the main thing is the height difference. So you can see these ones are much higher than these ones. So over time these things work sort of like a shock absorber, except they don't come back up when the car bounces, they just sink in and stay in. So the reason we got the new ones is because they're at the normal height. They bring the engine up in the engine bay so that it performs how it's supposed to. Now that you guys know the differences between a working engine mount and a broken engine mount, let's get these in the car so this car performs the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, just working on dropping the engine down right now. It's one side, it's almost right, but it's already got a lot more clearance over that anti-roll bar. I don't know if you can see. Nah, you can't, but it's already got a lot more clearance. I don't know if you can tell.
Okay, so I'm gonna let it all the way down now. So watch yourselves, okay? It'll come down now.
It's coming down even more.
That's the engine completely down.
That is completely down now, guys, so I'll get a better angle afterwards. It's where it's supposed to be sitting. It's a bit higher up than it used to be. Alright, so now it's supporting its own weight, obviously, with the engine mounts, so yeah. It's definitely sitting up a bit higher from the top of the engine mount, you can already tell, I think. It's actually in the right spot now. I'm sure I'll show you the anti-roll bar in a sec. I'm sure it's got a lot of clearance over that now. Alright guys, let's have a look at this anti-roll bar now.
So
see?
Have a little nick in it.
That clearance is so much more. That was ridiculous before how close that was. Now, so I was close to even just cracking this, and obviously if you crack that, you're gonna lose all your oil, and then you lose oil pressure and you're gonna damage your engine severely. So we really had to do this. Good thing we did it, but unfortunately we found some other issues along the way, as Chris has already told you. Yeah.
What have we done? The engine mounts are in. The engine is sitting as it should, even, up there. Now we're going to do the sway bars. So here's Jake, the professional mechanic, putting them on. Do you reckon they're on?
Yeah, they're on. Is it on? Are you sure it's not on the other side?
Okay, take two. These actually have a Torx in the middle and a nut on the outside, so you have to hold them instead of just ugger-duggering it like before.
That's the way to do it, mate.
So now we got it off, top of it's unscrewed, so let's move on to the other side. Yeah, we've evolved now. This is take 3, round 2. You actually can see a little bit more this time of what he's doing. You may be asking yourself why we're taking the sway bar drop links off, and that's because on this side, as you can see, it's not connected properly, and there's also grease pretty much all around it. Got to replace that, just another thing to add to the list.
Alright, Chris has got the worst part of the job. He's doing the bottom.
You're right there. It's a very long drop. There you go. Number 1 out.
Look at these new drop links. I didn't realise they're actually not the stock ones, so they might actually be better than stock. Look at that, nice and clean. Part 2. Now time for the new ones to go on.
Much more of a less messy, easy-ish process. We finally got it on. This shaft here kept spinning, which means that the rubber grommet would spin with it and the spring came off, which is not how it should be because that's how grease gets out, just like the last one. Alright guys, so the AC guy just came over and we have some more bad news about the car. Basically, the compressor for the aircon is completely minced, so it doesn't work at all and it's spread debris throughout the whole system, meaning the condenser as well, that has to be replaced because you can't really have one without the other. So yeah, that's some more bad news. So now, got to do the engine mounts, the AC system, as well as the water pump, which is, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate news, guys, but you know, more content for you guys, so I guess it all works out. So now we're going to go get the new compressor and condenser so we can put it in.
Alright guys, so we got the brand new condenser here, all shiny, all new. It's a tiny bit different. So the old one, obviously this is what the... How do condensers work again?
They condense.
Well, this is obviously the condenser. We don't really know how condensers work, but this one is a tiny bit different. The like thing where the...
Why we replaced it?
We replaced it because that one is likely to be clogged up full of crap. And then if that's clogged up full of crap, as soon as we fit the new compressor and TX valve, it's going to clog the whole system back full of crap because the crap's still in there. Pretty crappy. So these are full of refrigerant and that cools the AC, I think.
This one's actually slightly bent, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe. Basically, this line, this is a bit different too, so we don't know if it's going to fit perfectly. Might have to get it modified a bit. And then
Bigger.
that's like, and it's just a different shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, this is different, which is why they had to modify the AC line that goes all the way to the TX valve, because this is obviously on this way, this is going straight in, and on that one I think it's going, turn it the same way? Yeah. One bolt's across and one bolt's straight down, as you can see right there. If it fits, I reckon the car might go faster though as well, because it'll let the air go through, you know, it won't catch the flies, make it quick.
Weight reduction.
Weight reduction. Alright, we're gonna put it on now. Alright, so it doesn't fit like we probably thought it wouldn't. It doesn't fit. So we're now going to have to get it modified by the same guys who gave it to us. This pipe here was hitting against the other coolers which sit in here. So obviously on here you can see it's like really, look down there. On this one, you can see it's like really tightly tucked in just at the bottom. Here it's like all big, bulky and out. So it just hits the other coolers which sit in here, which are right in front of it. So this one doesn't fit. So we're going to take these three back to them and tell them that it has to fit within this mold, which right now it doesn't. Tell them it has to fit in this mold, and then hopefully they can modify it somehow to make it fit. And then the condenser will be good. Finally.
So while we wait for the condenser to go and get fixed, we're going to do a lot of small jobs. So the first being cleaning up where the old seal of the water pump was. Hopefully you can see kind of in there. Let me get a better light. There we go. So if you can see in there, there's just this, I guess, muck just where the seal was. So we're just going to grab some sandpaper, sand it off, get it looking good, so the surface is nice and clean, so that the water pump does not leak anymore. Then once it's clean, we're going to put the water pump back on, as well as all of the pulleys, as well as the compressor for the AC, the line that goes up through here and around the top, and the TX valve, which is this little thing here. This thing right here. Doesn't look like a valve, but it is.
Yep.
There you go. So now that all that stuff is done, we can put the compressor and the condenser back in. Alright guys, so we're back at home. We're going to take the pulleys and stuff off because these are actually brand new. So it's just a lot better to put them on the other car while everything's off. So yeah, let's start doing it. Now time to put the new pulleys on the 507, as well as the water pump.
Okay guys, so we've just discovered that this pulley that was on down there is actually the wrong pulley and shouldn't be there. You can see that by this little groove. So this is actually a plain pulley, not a grooved one. It should be a grooved one because the not soft side of the belt, the flat side. The flat side of the belt should be the one that's touching this, which wouldn't cause those like indents there. But obviously this was on down there, which means the grooved side of the belt was touching it, which caused this. So actually it should be this one. Should be this one that's on there, not this one. So someone's clearly put this together in the wrong order in the past because, yeah, we haven't touched this and that's what was on there. So I don't know who did that. That might have been Mercedes themselves. Maybe they stuffed up. Alright guys, I don't even know what to say about this, if I'm going to be honest. This is a genuine Mercedes water pump right here, so got it straight from them, and they've managed to mess it up. Because where this pulley goes, where this pulley is supposed to go, right? So on this one, right here, where a pulley is supposed to go, they haven't machined the thread. There is no thread in there, I don't know if you can see. It's completely smooth in there, nothing. This is not just an aftermarket part or anything. This is a like genuine, you can see the box right here that Christian's got. Yep. Genuine Mercedes, and they've managed to somehow just not put the thread in. This wasn't cheap either. This was 600 Australian dollars plus postage. So that's just ridiculous. Mercedes has to do better because that's not upholding the brand legacy there at all. So that's pretty bad. So now it's going to take even longer because we've got to get another water pump now. So first the condenser doesn't work. Now we get a water pump that doesn't have a machined. There's no thread. The problems just don't end.
Please leave your name, phone number, and a brief message, and one of our team members will get back to you as soon as possible.
So we're on a bit of a wait for Mercedes because it looks like they've just ran out of threads. You know, and everyone's calling off about the threads because clearly they don't put it on. It's awesome, isn't it? Shortage of threads. If anyone's got some threads lying around, it'd be great. Because we could use some right now.
Alright guys, so I have come to a realization while editing the video you are watching, and that is that we have too much content for one video. If I was to put everything in, the video would most likely be nearly an hour long. So we're going to split this part of the videos into two parts of rebuilding the car. Now if you guys would like to see longer form content, even longer than 20 minutes, let us know in the comments below, because if we can make it longer for you guys for your enjoyment, we'll gladly do that. So in that case, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe, like and comment, and we will see you in the next one.